Hello my friends, welcome back to Dunham Park Zoo. It has been a hot minute, and if you haven't caught any streams, you're going to have no idea what's going on. But I am going to show you around and kind of give you an updated tour of the zoo. Not a full tour, just some of the things we've changed, although I think fairly soon we're going to do a full tour of the zoo and just go over everything, because I do go around and make little changes here and there, and I don't think we've ever done a full tour of this zoo. But yeah, without further ado, we're going to go ahead and show you the things that I have changed recently. So the first major change you'll notice is this entrance has changed. It used to be blocked off with trees on both sides. I also changed out these palms in the middle. They were, I think, Neely's custom palms before, but since then, Nick has been working on lots of awesome mods, and these are, I believe, from the North America pack, which isn't officially out yet, but he's been nice enough to allow me access to test it. So these Mexican palm trees are from that, and they are amazing, so I decided to put them all down the middle. As well as I knocked out this whole sidewall of trees and opened this area up, moved the information booth up closer to the entrance. I just feel like it gives it a more open view into the zoo, so it gives you a real clear direction of where you're supposed to be going, as well as I got to add this nice big plaza and kind of trying to give the zoo more of a city feel. As much as we want the zoo to also feel like you're not in the middle of a city, the realism part needs to actually feel like a city zoo. So yeah, and added these banners back in, but then updated the pictures on them to give them a very more sleek, modern look. And I did add these throughout the zoo as well in some places. But in our new event plaza over here, right now, we have the zoo market happening from 10 to 4 today. I imagine the zoo would do things like this frequently, where they'd have little events in this, little markets or shows or whatever that you could come into the zoo, and maybe it would be free to enter this part, or it would just be something that members would do all the time. But you can get yourself some popcorn, nom 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 nom, and then make your way into the market. So there's different stalls here for different things. There's a couple food trucks. There's the jungle stage, which would probably be a permanent fixture in this area. And they would have like animal shows here, or little concerts, or like the kid show characters and stuff like that would come. This jungle stage is brought to you by Leaf Productions, because Leaf is a modding god alongside Nick, and this zoo is modded to high heavens, so just paying some dues to them. Around here we got some more booths. We got our Just a Memento from our gift shop. I don't know why this sign is not loading in. Planet Zoo gonna Planet Zoo sometimes. We got a Cosmic Cow food truck. Flowers, this little gems one. This one's pretty cute. It's one of my favorites. Excellent treasures. You could buy some kind of display eggs and get bit by a parrot. Around here, there would be like zoo staff here that you could sign up for a zoo membership. Lots of art ones on this section. You come get one of those little fish pedicures. Get your caricature drawn. Get some drinks. These ones have queue lines, because I imagine they would be fairly busy. What's down this side? More stuffies, balloons. Okay, the balloons one is also one of my favorites. And then just random trinkets. Bernie's Bakes. And if you're feeling up to it, you could dunk a daddy. Come over here, get a little ball. Try not to hit Drew as you throw it. Hit that hand and dunk Estan in the water. Very fun. Thank you to Claire for making these amazing Drew and Estan models. They're very accurate. I think. Yeah, so that's the plaza here. And then I started also adding in some general like advertising things around the zoo, just to give it more of that, you know, zoo feeling, because you are being advertised to a lot in zoos, whether you notice it or not, I guess. I just cleaned up this plaza. It used to have like these really ugly statues and stuff that were like the frontier template ones that I just threw in, and I just decided that I liked the cleaner look better. And it's a little cleaner, a little more open. Oh, so you'll notice too, all of our animals are back. So it does still cause a little bit of lag, but at least the zoo doesn't feel so empty. I did find it helpful though. Because I have everything turned off, it never occurred to me I don't really need staff. So it does run pretty okay if I have all of the animals, but I don't have any of the staff. Like I just have one caretaker and one trade center that I kind of bump around to put the animals in their pens. That's about it. I got a advertising billboard there just because I thought it looked good. The petting zoo animals are back. I did change them out a little bit, some different types. There is one boxed on the roof. But the roof goats are back. As well as I got some Jacob sheep, the new cows, all of that, because I did update all my mods. The mini donkey. I do have a custom skin for this mini donkey that Leaf has made to look like my mini donkey. But I am dumb and can't figure out how to get it in the file because I'm stupid. And then just at the back here, I was going to put pinnipeds in this little corner here, but I decided I wanted a little more room for that, so I decided to just add in this playground. And I figured if you had like a family and some kids wanted to go in the playground or in the petting zoo and some didn't, you know, you could toss some of them in the playground, or, you know, this just generally being kind of a kids area. You come in here. All of this playground equipment is off the workshop. So there's this little bouncy castle, which I thought was probably the cutest thing I've ever seen made. Yeah, and then just various playground equipment. It's not really a themed playground. A whole lot. I was gonna custom make all of this playground stuff and do like a reptile playground, or a barnyard playground, but I just at the end of the day could not be bothered, so I did not. We're not gonna go that way because I want to approach that from the other direction, so we're gonna go back this way. I'm sorry if I'm going a little fast. It's just there is a lot to kind of look at, and I don't want this video to be like 40 minutes, although it might end up being 40 minutes anyway. But yeah, we have this whole big courtyard area made for the reptile house. This new mulch came in the, I think, either the North America pack or the General Zoo pack, and I am obsessed with it right now. So I don't think anything changed in the reptile house other than this front area. But you can kind of get a good look at this big water feature. Oh, we can see he's at the top of the water right now, our alligator snapping turtle Bowser, who lives in this little pond. So we'll go around, we'll go in there. Doo-doo-doo. Too far down. Okay. So at the base of our garden here, we have underwater viewing for the American alligators. They do dive in here. It is actually deeper at the back. So they do dive in there, which was a pain because they were originally diving in water that was level with this path. And then I had to spend literally hours trying to figure out why they couldn't. Because as soon as I lined the bottom or put any logs or plants in the bottom, they would stop diving. And it was an absolute nightmare to also get the water in and out every time. I don't love how it looks now, but it was more important to me that they could dive in it. Although they don't do it a whole lot. They do dive in there. So then there's just a little log bench because I thought it looked like a little alligator. So I put that there, and I imagine people could sit there and look at the alligators. And then we got a discovery cart with an alligator skull. This alligator skull is from the Outback Pack by Leaf, which I'm not sure if it will be out by the time you guys are watching this. But do for sure grab that when it is available because it's awesome. Oh no, my computer's gonna freeze. Oh no, we're okay. And then there's a little caiman statue that I forgot his name, what we named him on stream, but apparently he's the greatest caiman who ever lived. And then over here we have Bowser's Pond. I thought about putting some little fish or something in there with him, but I'm pretty sure that he would just eat them. So he's just alone in there. But yeah, we'll go up here. Imagine this would be like a nice little spot to come eat your lunch down in here. And then this area is not 100% finished, but we'll look anyway. This is Croc Walk. I don't know why these aren't loading. Why is the texture so bad on this sign? What you doing there, Planet Zoo? There you go. I knew you could do it. I knew you could do it. Okay. I really just need an excuse to use this alligator sign because it's amazing. Okay, so when it's finished, there will be habitat and planting along this side as well. But this is kind of where we keep all of our crocodilians. So you can get an up... kind of a topside view of the alligators. Yes, we do have an albino. She's very cute. She's going to go hide in the bushes. But you can see their big tank over there. And then over here... Oh, don't freeze. Over here, we also have another shallower pond that they could go in if they preferred that. I'm sure it would be a little bit warmer. And then there's sunspots and shady spots so that they could kind of regulate their body heat a little bit because they are reptiles. And then on this side, I'll just be planting and maybe put some like a crane and some waterfowl and stuff. You can kind of get a sneaky peek of how I tag areas that I haven't built yet. But green benches in here because reptiles. Come around here, right around this bend here, I'm going to do Gharial along here. Again, fairly small habitats, but just to, I feel like our reptile collection is a pretty big deal here in this zoo, so we would want to celebrate different kinds. And I'm sure it'd be something that was advertised like we have a largest collection of reptiles in X distance. This habitat, I might add some bigger types of caiman into because it ended up being, or maybe switch them out for something bigger because this habitat ended up being very large for just these caiman. There's quite a few in there, but I might put something in there with them. I'm not 100% sure. That's not a caiman. There is just, I did put like these algae decals in the water. But yeah, you can see them all kind of in amongst all of this duckweed and stuff. So like I said, there is quite a few in there, but they are very, very small. So I don't know, maybe you guys can let me know in the comments what you think I should do. If I should make a smaller habitat for these guys and put something bigger in here, like maybe put the Gharial in this one. Or the pool's not really deep enough for anything too big, which is why I'm not sure if Gharials or Salties would be a good option, but there are some bigger species of caiman on Nexus that I could download and maybe put some bigger species in there, like just one or two of a bigger one. Yeah, because I was really only planning to have just the gharials as another crocodilian, but then this habitat ended up being a little big. I mean, it could also be said that sometimes maybe they rotate them, or maybe they did used to have a bigger crocodilian species in here and then changed it out. I don't know. I don't know what the lore would be, but I'm not changing the habitat at this point. So that's it right now for Croc Walk. It's not really finished, and then I think continuing on that way, I'm going to put a small Australia section here somewhere, but I'm also going to put the pinnipeds on this side of the zoo. I'm just not sure which one I'll do first, Australia or pinnipeds. I haven't really decided. But yeah, there's no path this way anymore, so we'll have to go up through Africa, and I'll show you, because I'm not sure that I ever did show that Predator Ridge is actually finished now. We did work on it a bit on stream, and then I finished it off stream and then never showed it off. I really should start like cutting out and making speed builds out of the streams, so that those of which who don't want to hang around for like a 3-hour stream can actually see what we do. If you remember, here is where the wild dogs used to be, and then we'd cleared it out to make room for the olive baboons that were supposed to come in the safari pack, and then unfortunately that never came to fruition. The olive baboons never really got figured out. So I put mandrill in here instead. They don't really fit because they're more of a tropical species, so I tried to lush this up a little bit. But you know, sometimes that happens in zoos where animals end up just kind of being put wherever they fit habitat wise, rather than just have the habitat sit empty. I don't know where all the mandrill are. They're just sitting back here, not using any of the expensive climbing structure. But yeah, that's their habitat. It's not spectacular, but to be honest, when Calgary had mandrills, that was pretty much all they had too. It was just like a little grass pen with some climbing stuff. Few little changes to the safari habitat. I added in some of these kind of rock sheltered planters with some low grass, because I just felt like the exhibit felt really empty, and especially compared to some of the more lush habitats I have been building, it seemed really plain. So I did add these planters. Now I am aware that if this were real, these would be empty, because there would be no way you could maintain this grass with this many grazing animals in here. That's why this is mostly all dirt. And in reality, they would just walk on these rocks, and they would eat all of this planting, which is why it is probably more realistic when it was just an empty, more or less grass and dirt patch. But I thought it looked prettier like this, so that's what I did. Yeah. So just minor updates. There's lots of things like that I do around the zoo where I'll go back in, decide I hate something and touch it up a little bit. We changed out the American white ibis that was in with the hippos here for the African sacred ibis. So they're chilling out in there now. Just some little like ambient, I don't want to say shit animals, but shit animals. I think it adds like a whole extra layer to zoos. So I like doing that whenever I can. Go under the bridge. Ooh, we're going to hit our head because that's the wrong button. No, now we're underground because that's the wrong button. Oh, we got a spotless cheetah. In with our cheetah and rhinos. So she's in there. She's spotless. Although I'm thinking about, there is a mod I seen that turns the spotless cheetah into a king cheetah, and I am very much considering that mod. I think it's more realistic that a zoo would have a king cheetah than a zoo having a spotless cheetah. Yeah, not much changed through here. Oh, I changed the path texture out for that European path texture, just because I didn't like that the whole zoo was having one path type. I feel like that's kind of unrealistic. It just wouldn't happen. Down in here, I did get a hold, sneaky me, of the Red River Hog mod. Now it was never, what is with all these animals being boxed today? And I did change these out. Leaf updated the helmeted guinea fowl, so I did change them out from the vulturine ones, because I just think the helmeted ones are so much prettier. My parents used to have helmeted guinea fowl, actually, in their chicken coop, and they were really loud and obnoxious. But yeah, we did get a hold of the Red River Hog. It's not officially released, but it is on the Planet Zoo modding server, as is. So, like, there are things wrong with it. Like, it does float a little bit. But I like them so much more than a warthog, so I'll put up with a little bit of glitchiness, to be honest. Just because that was the species I originally intended to be in here. Are they gonna get stuck in a box loop? Okay. Again, they're a little bit glitchy, but I don't mind. Alright, so, last but not least, we have a finished Predator Ridge. Got a little hyena statue up there. So you come along here, there are hyena. Of course, in this one, this is the habitat we built on stream. There is quite a few in there. I've turned breeding off for right now, but they did have babies before, so they'll now forever be babies. I wish that in Sandbox they gave you an option to just produce babies or buy babies or something. That you wouldn't have to be turning breeding and aging back on, because then what you have to do is you have to put your babies in the trade center so that they don't grow up while you're trying to produce other babies, and it's just a pain. And there should just be a better way. Like, if you're gonna have a Sandbox game, let me have a Sandbox game. But I digress. Here is the wild dogs. Again, pretty simple habitat, but effective. Like, there's lots of places where the dogs go in and out of view, so it's kind of very explorative. We have that mesh panel with the little bit of gap between, so that they could see and smell and sort of interact with the hyenas, but not be able to touch. I think that's a wild dog up back there. But yeah, very explorative, and then you can come on this side and see them through the mesh as well. You can kind of get a little sneak peek down into their den area. There's one, I think, chilling down there. Very cool. These guys are some of my favorites in real life and in game. They're very active and very cute. I wish there was more variation in their coat pattern, but you know, beggars can't be choosers. And then over here, if you can't tell by this amazing pillar, this is Leopard. So in here we have African, ooh, look at that. He's right there for us, showing off. We have African leopard. So there is one actual real leopard in here, and then there is a fake taxidermy leopard up in the tree, because that's not something that would actually happen with the leopard, but I wanted that there for screenshots, and I never took it down. So yeah, here's our leopard prowling right in front for us like he's a paid actor. Very cool. So pretty easy habitat here for him. It's a little small, but it's not that much smaller than the lion habitat, and there are 3 of them in there, so I figure it's probably okay. I think having your habitats a little on the small side, I feel like makes them feel more real. Like, this is probably about the size of the snow leopard habitat at Calgary. But yeah, it's the same aviary off the workshop that I used over for the snow leopards here. And then, of course, we have Lemur Landing, and that's the dead end for the zoo. Yeah. So that's the zoo so far. All the little updates. Yeah, and then just let me know in the comments how much you hate the zoo. Don't forget to dislike and unsubscribe. And I will see you next time when hopefully we have, I think I'm going to do the pinnipeds before Australia. So the next time you see me will probably be to finish off Croc Walk and start the pinnipeds back here. I hope you enjoyed this episode and have a wonderful, wonderful day. Bye-bye.